Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, the last but not the least presentation, Alo Brake, Head of Investor Relations, and Adam Gray, Investor Relations with Ostomysecure.
Okay. Are we on?
Good afternoon, gentlemen and Evan, ladies. Very sorry that you've got us. The CEO and the founder are not with us today because they're in China and they're going to the London event, so apologies, but you've got us. Ostomysecure. We have developed a groundbreaking device which will completely transform the lives of people who have had a stoma and will enable them to live far more normal lives because they will not have to wear the bag that they currently have to wear permanently attached to their skin. I'm sure you're aware, but there are currently, well, at the moment, the way it works is that when you have a colostomy or ileostomy, the bag is attached to your skin with glue. It's really irritating. There are a huge number of problems, both social and, I don't need to go into it, but noise. Your whole life is disrupted by this surgery, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed since the 1950s for these people. It's not a glamorous part of the market, but what we have developed really is life-changing for them. And it's an implant which is put into just underneath the skin, and to that a cap is attached, which then slides off, and you can walk around and go about your business normally. Adam will go into it in more detail in a second. I'll just go into the market. Adam, sorry, you keep having to do the slides. The market for ileostomies alone is 1.5 million. People have had an ileostomy, and 100,000 a year new patients are having ileostomies. And the colostomy market and urostomy market are sort of more like 10 million and 1 million new operations every year. And we're not proposing that this replaces the surgery. This happens after someone's had a colostomy or ileostomy, and it's a patient-led procedure someone will choose to have something like this implanted. It's ambulatory. It costs a small amount of money to have the device implanted, and then you have a proprietary system of lids and bags. Adam will explain how it works in detail.
So there's a demo here. We have a video, but I think it's not going to work on this setup, unfortunately. But in short, the device is a small titanium implant. It's about 2.8 centimeters in diameter. It is implanted just under the skin, and it creates a clean rim around the stoma like this, which allows a lid to be attached and a set of disposable pouches to be attached over the lid. The lid can be opened, the contents can be emptied, and the pouch can be removed, and then the lid can be closed, and the patient can go about their day again. So we have a range of proprietary accessories which go with the implant. The interface to the implant is proprietary. We're covered by a family of 12 patents worldwide. So the ties accessories can be used only with the device. The average stoma patient spends around €2,500 on stoma accessories per year. So this creates effectively a lifetime revenue stream for every patient. So it's extremely attractive as a business model, as well as life-changing for the patients themselves. There is an app as well. There's a digital experience that goes with the device that allows the patients to manage their consumable supply, and a version of the device is in development now, which has a pressure sensor which enables the patients to be updated on when they need to empty in real time, and in future to feed back more detailed information on the security of the implant, the quality of the diet, and so forth for medical analysis.
And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the team, because probably that's one of our strongest points. We have Professor Manish Chand, who is a director. He's also an investor in the business, and effectively he's the founder of TIES 4, which is the fourth iteration of the implant. And he has had a great deal to do with the design. He is consultant colorectal surgeon and professor of surgery at UCL. And I think most of you will have heard of Dr. Stephen Wexner, who is on our advisory board, and he's the director of Digestive Disease Institute and chairman of the Department of Colorectal Surgery at Cleveland Clinic in Florida.
Thank you.
Our
Thank you so
CEO
much, Alo and Adam. Now it's our time to go into the
Yeah,
questions.
sure.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about the safety profile of the product because of infections and it's a product which is probably sensitive to that type of clinical data, if you have any. Thank you.
Yes, we've just completed an animal trial, which was very successful. We're about to go into a randomized clinical trial of 140 people, which will be carried out at UCL. And actually, it's quite funny because Coloplast, who are one of the incumbents in the industry, have offered their nurses for free for our clinical trial because they're quite interested in our product. In terms of safety and obviously we have already got 36 patients who have been implanted, and some of them have been implanted for a considerable period of time. The worst that can happen with this is that it has to be removed and you go back to wearing a permanent bag. So it's not that it's going to suddenly kill you. The worst is you have to go back to a life with having a permanent bag and problems that created for you. I'm not sure whether it was clear when we were presenting, but you go to the loo just like any normal person, and you can literally flush away the bag as soon as you feel the pressure or the system tells you that you need to go to the loo. So it makes you continent again, which is a massive thing for people who have had this kind of surgery. And I just wanted to talk about Graham. I don't know whether one of you will ask me about the team, but Graham is a brilliant CEO in that he's had so many different medtech startups, and I think he's been responsible for something like 5 exits. He's a real professional and a real, he's worked in this segment for a very long period of time, and I think it's significant that he's our CEO.
So making an analogy here with urinary catheters for people with spinal cord injury, for instance, where instead of permanent catheterization, you have intermittent.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the sensing capabilities of when you need to evacuate and open the stoma.
Well, I mean, that's a prototype at the moment, and certainly when we're doing urostomies, that will be obviously extremely important. Adam, can you talk a little bit about how it might be different?
Yes, sure. So that's an enhancement to the current cap. Actually, even with the lid as it is now, it does recreate continence. So you have a natural feeling of when you need to go. And patients that have been using the device to date have corroborated this. It varies depending on specific patient to specific patient. But even just with the cap by itself, because it creates an air seal around the device, there is a natural kind of feeling of continence. Future versions of the lid will, include more detailed kind of sensory feedback digitally, but it's a combination of that natural feeling as well.
But also with the ureter, as you know, it's much smaller. So with the colon, it's massive. So you're going to feel the build-up of pressure much more with the ureter than with the colon. And so actually, in terms of the digital sensor, it will be more important to the colon than to the ureter. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alo and Blake. Thank you so much for your presentation, for Q&A. Thank you.